What's going on, Canes fans? Welcome to the final Walking and Venting episode for the 2024 season. The series where I walk along the edge of my property while we talk about the Miami Hurricanes. Not the type of episode that I wanted to end on this season. Obviously not the ending in general that we all had hoped for. And I really want to just take a few minutes to talk about why this season, even at 10-2, a double-digit win season, going from 5-7, 7-5 to 10-2, does not feel good. It feels more like a failure to a lot of Miami fans. And really, I think a better word is probably wasted. It feels more like a wasted season, a wasted opportunity, right? And I want to talk about that and the reasons why, at least for me. I can't speak for the entire fan base. And that's where you get to chime in the comments and let me know if you agree or disagree. And just let me know your overall thoughts and feelings. It is a safe space. There are people that are going to respond, but you are allowed to say whatever you want in the comments. And just quick disclaimer, look, this has a Miami U on the side of it. I'm feeling kind of crazy after everything that happened yesterday. It's cold out here, so I'm wearing the crazy Mohawk hat. I had a guy the other day approach me, and he said, Michigan State fan? And I was like, excuse me? And he was like, green and white? And I was like, hello? No? See the U? And then he kind of just chuckled and walked away because I guess we're the laughing stock of college football again. And I'm not even trying to be funny. This is where I'm going to look at the season as a whole. So, the expectations going into this year, we're hoping for 9 or 10 wins for me personally. Even with Cam Ward coming in, everything, I said a double-digit win season would be pretty big. Hadn't done that since like 2017. That would be huge for this program. But I will add that I had kind of thought that a 10-win season would probably, we wouldn't know the overall landscape here and how it looked, but I was like 10 wins, probably ACC championship game appearance. And instead, here we are watching Cade freaking Klubnik with Clemson competing for an ACC title. Him and Kevin Jennings with SMU, a newcomer to the conference. How disgusting. And no disrespect to either of those teams. They made it into the conference championship. We didn't. I got to man up and own it. But here's the problem. 10-2 sounds great on the surface. But context matters. Miami was 9-0. 9-0. And you end 10-2. Now it doesn't sound so great, does it? Miami went 1-2 in their last 3 games. Shouldn't you be playing your best football at the end of the season? Shouldn't you have it all together? Unless maybe if you're, battling injuries or something. And overall, Miami wasn't. Heck, we got Damari Brown back in the Syracuse game, did we not? We still had Ruben Payne. We still had most of the guys. Our star quarterback threw for over 4,000 yards this season and almost 40 freaking touchdowns. And we still can't compete for an ACC championship? That's sad, man. That's pitiful. It feels like a waste. Like we wasted a generational quarterback. And hold up, we're going to talk about the defense. We'll get there. But I do know the offense didn't do things perfectly, right? They don't get a pass for anything. How many times did the offense get up to a big lead and should have been able to keep scoring and it just fell off of a cliff? Dawson doesn't get a pass either, but it's just there were so many glaring issues on defense, right? And it seemed like that Guidry was pretty stubborn at times or stupid. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it's stupidity over stubbornness. I don't know. There were so many times in the Syracuse game specifically where people were saying, please, Just play some zone. Like, these guys are on an island. We can't man up with these dudes, and we've known that all season. We can't do that with anybody. And you have a quarterback who has thrown for more passing yards than Cam Ward, and you're just going to let him air it out all afternoon? Of course it's going to kill you. Then there were other people that said, well, we're not, this team's not good enough to play zone. They're not disciplined enough. I don't know. But I know, yes, I'm very upset with Guidry, and hey, there's going to be a lot of people in the comments that say, fire that man. Get him out of here. Don't care about, consistency with the coaching staff. Pack your bags. And if that's what you think, then let me know. But doesn't it feel like just such a wasted opportunity, truly? So, like, it's hard right now to sit back with a smile on my face and enjoy a 10-win season because it doesn't feel like one. I'm being real. It feels more like we won 8 games. I feel like maybe, we took a jump up from the 7-5, and by jump I mean baby step. I feel more like 8-4. And we knew, like, people are saying, well, you are a 7-5 or 8-4 team without Cam Ward. No shit. Duh. That's all about building a roster and, transfer portal and NIL and all that stuff. That's what you got to do. You got to bring in the best players and try to win football games. That's such a stupid game because you can go to any team and let me pick out all of their best players. Guess what? You're not very good. Yeah, of course. Cam Moore did elevate this team. It realistically is a 7 or 8 win team without Cam Ward. I know that. Very well aware. So that's why you try to make the most of having Cam Ward in 2024, and you make a run for the ACC championship. Even if, because here's the next part. People say, Coop, you didn't want that smoke with SMU. You just would have been let down. I still wanted an ACC championship game appearance because more than ever before, we've seen how much parity there is in college football. Now, nobody is safe. It's any given Saturday, and no win is guaranteed. So I still would have liked to have a shot at them. To at least say that we went there with Cam Ward and this number 1 offense in the country, and instead we're on the outside looking in, sitting on the sideline. Heck, we're not even on the sideline. We're at home. Such a waste, man. And it's so sad and depressing being a Miami fan because it's always just letdown after letdown. When everything is on the line, they can never get it done. Never. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it or any exceptions. Never get it done. And I get so sick and gosh darn tired of it. All my social stuff, all my videos and stuff, it's nothing but people saying, told you, you're frauds. Told you, bunch of fakes. All for nothing. And I have to sit here and look at all that coming in. Throwing it right in my face. And I deserve it for being a Miami fan. Because I guess we've got some kind of curse on us. I don't know. We're doomed to be like this forever. The season feels like a waste. That defense, man, I told y'all. And not y'all, man. There were plenty of people that agree with me. But the JD Pickle fanboys, with the whole flipping the switch and this defense, this is exactly what the team needed. Losing is not the solution. You can learn just as much from winning and having those close calls as well. And they should have. There was no magic switch to flip with the defense to make them better. Not with Lance Guidry leading the way. Not with some of these other players I'm not going to name drop, but you know who I'm talking about. Some guys that seriously regressed and some guys that got an opportunity to start and play this season and big time let down. Big time let down. And I know defense wins championships, Coop, and I get it. We can't ever have both. So I've accepted the fact that we have to either have a mid offense and a great defense, or a mid defense or great offense, or, like a lot of people use this comparison. They said we had a 9 out of 10 offense, but a 2 out of 10 defense. And then people said, you know what? I would take I'd take a 7 out of 10 defense if I could have like a 6 out of 10, or a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 offense. Good grief, Coop. If it meant we could have like a 6 out of 10 defense. Like, give me just a pretty good offense and a pretty good defense, as opposed to a lights out high scoring offense breaking records with just a piss poor defense. Look, we're not stupid. Coop, you didn't see this coming? Yes, of course we did. But, trying to enjoy the season, I'm not going to run away from the fact that in my preview videos, I predicted wins every week. My full season prediction that I posted the night before the Florida game was 10-2. I should have stuck with it, because guess what? Miami continued to do the Miami thing, and even though they broke multiple curses this year, the bye week curse, the weekday curse, the Miami Nights curse, they still lost the game, aka Georgia Tech. And they still lost one stupid, dumbass game they should not have lost, with everything on the line when it all mattered. Syracuse. They still, after everything, after all the good things that did happen and the hype that was there, they still, in the end, did the exact same thing that always happens. The guarantee is the game, and the game when everything's on the line, when they have a chance to be in the driver's seat and take control, and they shit the bed. They crap the bed. Sorry for cussing, YouTube. It just feels like a waste. I can't believe we're on the outside watching this ACC championship game. And the crazy thing is, I'm not making a prediction here. We'll talk about it this week because everyone wants to discuss it. Technically, Miami's not out of the college football playoff picture, depending on what happens. I'm not going to come on here on a walking and venting and predict that happens, but Texas did beat A&M, which needed to happen, and SMU has to beat Clemson, as far as I know. There's talks about, would they put in a 3-loss SEC team over a 2-loss ACC team? If Clemson loses, look at how many losses they would have. But then they also say they're not going to punish that much for a conference champion loss because they did make it to the conference championship. It's going to be up to the committee, man. I'm not going to get my hopes up. And there are the fans that say, we don't even want to be there. Let's wrap the season up. We know it's going to be an L once they get to the playoffs. Let's not even go there. It's not worth it. The heartbreak to try to get excited. Let's not even do it. Don't even want to see them go. I understand where you're coming from, but I also don't want Miami Hurricanes football to be over. The bowl game, if it's not college football playoffs, just a bowl game, it's pointless. It's other than getting to watch those guys suit up for one last time and for the ones that do, right, because it's going to be opt-out city, the only point of a bowl game is some young guys getting some playing time. That is it. Outside of that, there's no point. There's no point. So I really will not be that pumped up and excited for just some pointless bowl game. Doesn't matter to me unless it's for the playoffs. That's my overall takeaway. Is I wouldn't say... Again, I don't know. Let me know. Failure is a strong word. It's realistically taking a step back. It's been 24 hours. 10 wins is progress. 5, 7, 10. Could have a positive impact on recruiting. Depends on how you look at it, because we did not finish strong. So that's a bad look. You go out on a whimper. But it is improvement purely, hey, before you verbally assault me in the comments, purely talking wins and losses. That is more wins than last year, more wins than the year before that. That is progress in the win department. We already talked about context. We already went deeper into it, the specifics. And technically, Miami lost those 2 games by a combined 9 points. Nobody blew out Miami, but that was because the offense, did their part to try to keep Miami in it. Keep it a little more honest looking. Not so bad. I still would, if they somehow snuck into the playoffs, I personally think it would be unlikely. Again, I'm not going to make a prediction, but there's obviously the figuring out which 3-loss SEC team would deserve to be in there. So there would be a lot of controversy in that and trying to figure it out versus maybe just saying, hey, here's a 2-loss ACC team. Plug them in. I saw some brackets of like Miami playing Notre Dame in the round 1 or whatever. Like, I don't know, man. We'll talk about that this week. We'll talk about it this week. I just want you to know that my takeaway is that the 2024 season really kind of felt like a waste. Is firing Guidry the answer? I don't know. Some pretty boneheaded stuff. The offense next year, did Cam just cover up a lot of Dawson's deficiencies, his issues? Because, Guidry didn't have a guy over there on the defense that was the Cam Ward guy. So did Cam Ward just make Dawson look way better? Will it just go back to kind of like what it was last year? Because people wanted Dawson fired last year or TBD to leave. TBD left, they bring in Cam Ward, they look way better. But now we flipped, and now it's get rid of Guidry, and I get it, but I don't know. It's such a weird feeling. There are so many people in my comments that said, Coop, I'd give anything in the world for my team to win 10 football games. We only won 2. You know who I'm talking about. But at the same time, I feel so let down and like icky and like I can't even brag about it. I can't go on there and be like, yo, we won 10. Like, no, I don't see any Miami fan bragging about it. Heck, I would have rather have probably lost to Florida and then just lost the one ACC game. A second ACC loss, man. Lost to a depleted Georgia Tech team. I don't care that they took Georgia to 8 overtimes. Should have beat that football team. In Syracuse, they should have stuck with the freaking game plan because that was the worst run defense in the ACC. You go up 21-0, pound the rock. Don't get fancy and try to stat pad for Cam Ward. I don't know that that's what happened, but that's what it felt like sometimes. I know the defense was giving up plays, but win the time of possession. Do what Georgia Tech did to us. Run the football. And I love Jordan Lyle, man, but, he racked up some big yards against Wake late in the game. They were tired, bro. Stick with the Martinez-Fletcher combo. It's too late. All this is irrelevant. Doesn't matter. It's such a winnable football game, even all things considered, even with that defense. Still winnable. Yep. From now on, I'll go with my full offseason prediction instead of my game to game, since apparently I've got that right 2 years in a row. And then when I watch the games, whatever, man. I can't believe the regular season is over. I can't believe they lose 2 of the last 3 games. Most people in the offseason would have been happy with 10-2, but if I told you that it was to Tech and Syracuse and miss out on the conference championship game, would you still have been happy? If I gave you all the details, if you knew the context? That's the big question. That's the $1 million question for this video. For those of you that made it to the end, would you have still been happy? My answer for me is no. I would not. Don't be shy. Let me know your thoughts, man. Let's make this the most commented on walking and venting of the year, since this is the final one for the regular season. Hey, if maybe sometime in December I'm feeling a little frisky, maybe I make another one over something that happens, because I love being out here even in the cold. Before the regular season, man, this is the finale. This is it, and it is not at all what I wanted it to be. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's still always better when you get to rep the you. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see you on the next one.